Welcome to Inside Out, the Louvreclad podcast where we explore how Australia's most distinctive facades are inspired, engineered and implemented. If you've ever wondered how ambitious designs make the leap from concept to construction, you're in the right place. In every episode, we'll take you behind the scenes of complex projects, delve into challenges and meet the designers, makers and visionaries who turn bold ideas into iconic facades. Today we welcome Danielle Kwik, WSP Associate Director and Transport Sector Lead, who played a pivotal role in Sydney's Metro Waterloo Station. So WSP provided the electrical containment, mechanical ventilation and air conditioning design that supports the station and rail systems. The tunnel exhaust, vent systems and smoke exhaust systems have fans that are comparable to the size of a bus. Working with architects, contractors and Louvreclad, Danielle ensured systems, including the station's louvers, met both the technical and sustainable goals. Her expertise was central to Waterloo achieving its 6-star Green Star rating, and today we'll hear her take on how collaboration drives design innovation and why performance systems are key to sustainable infrastructure. So hi Danielle.
Hello.
You were central to the performance side of this project. How exciting was it to see it finally open to the public?
It was super rewarding. It's about a 5-year process from when we started the design delivery stage through to completion. It's a very rewarding experience when it opened, that everything went well, the line could open, and huge sigh of relief from the whole team. Almost 100 engineers from WSP involved in delivering Waterloo. We all worked so hard to get it across the line, working with the likes of yourselves, specialist suppliers, contractors. It was just a huge team effort. When it finally opened, it was amazing.
Was there like a grand opening where you just walked down that escalator and went?
We did. We had a few little previews of it with the station contractor. It was fantastic. As an engineer, I'm not particularly great at visualising the final product. And there was a lot of artwork, a lot of public art at Waterloo, which was amazing. I think it was, the best public art on the line. And you couldn't imagine it, like when they're describing what the artworks are, and to be able to see it up close, all clean, all looking brand new. It's amazing.
Wow. Yeah. Just such a profound experience. And I know when I went and walked down that escalator, it's really amazing. Mechanical engineering. So I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I do work with a lot of mechanical engineers. And I know that it really demands a mix of analytical thinking, curiosity, and also creative problem solving, but also that drive to really see the project through and make sure that everything is it's such a technical profession. Are these traits that you've always had, in your younger years?
Probably. I mean, mechanical design is quite unique compared to the other building services disciplines, and they'll all say the same. They're all special. Mechanical design, it's got to support the function of the building that it serves, but there's also a strong architectural interface that we can get quite involved in. We really impact, similar to lighting, there's a very potentially large impact with the front of house spaces. So what everyday people see and observe, what gets captured in photos, the public face of buildings. So we do need to have a really strong understanding and I guess appreciation of those visions from the architects to enable it to, come to life. Ultimately, we're supporting that vision. We've got to find ways to get that to work, to let that happen. And that can be, I guess maybe that's perhaps why, you mentioned inquisitive or curiosity. We've got to find a lot of different products. So we do talk to a lot of suppliers about, specialists, bespoke or tailored solutions, because we want to get that architectural look or, that feel and concept of the space. It's really important, not just, within it, but also outside. The facade is very important as well. Trying our best to get that across the line. Maybe we were lucky that the contractor also had that vision and allowed us to explore the different products available, and we could go there because we knew how important it would be to the overall product.
Yeah, wow. So much to think about, and obviously so much collaboration that goes into these types of projects. But you're Singaporean born, but obviously Australian for most of your life. And when you were younger, before you actually got into engineering, did you ever consider architecture, or was it always mechanical engineer? Was that all yours?
Look, I love design stuff or designing things. Architecture was interesting. I'm a terrible judge of architecture, right? But I remember going to Spain when I was younger, noticing the amazing buildings that they have. I think it's Gaudi. It just stands out so much. It's its own statement. Creativity was something that I've appreciated since I was younger as well. Really enjoyed artwork and just that different side to things. As an engineer, the whole science and maths part has always been there too. Doing what I do is I can get access both, a bit of both. It's a good balance.
Did you go straight into mechanical engineering, or what was your initial kind of path that led you into where you are today?
So I studied biomedical engineering when I was younger, and I suppose still am now, quite interested in health and well-being, and I thought biomedical would be amazing. So I did it. And it was not. So boring. It was great to know that what I did not want to do.
Yeah.
Put it that way. So, but a lot of the courses that I studied at uni crossed over with mechanical engineering. And so that was actually the base degree was mechanical engineering.
Ah, I see.
So I did enough courses that could be the basis. By absolute pure luck accident, fell into building services consulting. I wouldn't advise being as disorganised as I was.
I'm sure you couldn't be disorganised.
With trying to find your first job after uni finished. So I went on a big holiday, didn't have any thoughts about, working at all, came back and realised I missed everything. Missed all the cut-off dates and just searched online, for mechanical
But you need
design.
a holiday after a big degree like that, don't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
A building services position came up at a small consultancy in Australian consultancy in Sydney, and I took a chance, or they took a chance on me, and I was really lucky, very fortunate to count that day. Like, it was really good, very fortunate that I got that foot in the door. Just gone on to bigger and better things since then. So
Well, obviously, you've just kind of followed your drive and what excites you, and I think when you do that, it leads you to where you're meant to be almost, doesn't it? I think. Were there some really kind of standout projects that kind of took you along that path?
Yeah, I agree. I think following what you're passionate in, what you love is going to be, I guess you're going to find what you do more rewarding. So I find what I do quite very rewarding. And that's changed as, I guess, my career's progressed or moved on. So initially starting out doing a lot of commercial buildings, and so lucky to be involved in, I think they're iconic Sydney buildings like the Chow Chak building or the Frank Gehry building at UTS. That was amazing to be part of that. That was the first time I'd worked with an international architect as the executive architect. They did things completely different. At the time, it was very different. They wanted diffusers, very special diffusers. And we thought, there's no way this could work. It doesn't exist. And we had to do lots of inquiries, and then we actually found it does. It is possible. We went for it. But it was really great to be able to do that investigation and to be wrong, to know that there are different ways of doing things, that just because you do something the same way, things are done the same way over and over, and they're trusted ways. It's not the only way necessarily. And so it's great to learn that there are...
Be pushed, isn't it? Yeah. Just that little bit of a push.
To be pushed and you grow.
Yeah.
Take that lesson on for next time. And that's, that was a really good example of a project that did that to me. It really helped me grow professionally as well. So that was an exciting one. And the International Convention Centre redevelopment down at Darling Harbour was another one that really stands out in my mind. Both of these projects are many years long to design and the construction. Darling Harbour was the first $1 billion project that I had under my belt, it was a great experience. 6 years it took.
Wow.
I had my first child in that time.
That's a long time.
I came back and it's still going.
Yeah.
And finished it off. Yeah. So, that's just an iconic building, by Sydney Harbour. I think it was a really good result, and it's pulled up quite well. I think it's coming up to 10 years, that redevelopment's been there, and it looks great. I
think so,
in there the other, maybe a month or two ago. I was really surprised. And that was a fantastic project. A lot of collaboration again, working with the contractors and subcontractors, almost like it was like a partnership. It was a PPP delivery model, and collaboration was key to delivering that project. And I think from that, I really learned the value of collaborating with all parties involved in the delivery of a project, not just the designers, but on the construction side, and then, your suppliers, subcontractors, everybody's important and plays a part in the delivery of these projects.
Yes, we're all learning from each other constantly, aren't we? So,
and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that part of the job, working with other people from other, not just designers.
Absolutely. That's what I love about my job as well. Were there any key mentors along the way of that journey that you can really stand out and would say helped you along your path?
Absolutely. I mean, technically, I had a fantastic mentor when I started working as a graduate, all the way through for about 10 years. He gave me a really good, really strong technical base foundation for engineering that enabled me to work on those amazing projects. I was really lucky to get to work on those. I mean, we had 10, 20 mechanical designers. I really wanted those ones, and I was able to get that experience, which is, good experience is invaluable.
Absolutely.
Good projects are invaluable. And he gave me a lot of confidence in my technical capability as well. As a woman in the industry, it's a very male-dominated industry. Mechanical engineering is, in particular, quite male-dominated. He was always very supportive of my roles and of what I wanted to do, exposure-based time, that sort of thing, presence, and would, almost sit back a bit and just say, it's okay, you're going fine, just keep going. And that encouragement, I don't think there's a lot of that anymore. Times are a bit different, projects are a bit different, but
a bit more competitive.
Yeah. It was an amazing opportunity, and he really helped me through. Particularly, you can start doubting yourself. I really value people who have had practical experience of contracting, because they do it, they install it, they're on site doing that, making that design, delivering it. Their feedback is always, and perspectives are always really important. And then they can challenge you sometimes, and, so you can doubt yourself, but having a mentor who's able to, support you through those times is really good.
But also put you in the deep end a little bit, eh?
Absolutely.
So that's what you need, isn't it?
He threw me right there, and it was tough as hell, but it was, that's how you learn, I think. And you get to the other side, because you do. Then, it's quite amazing what you can get through.
Wow. So now here you are, Associate Director at WSP and Transport Sector Lead.
Yes.
So what were some key milestones that really got you to that position?
So I'm the Transport Lead in Property and Buildings for New South Wales and ACT. Moving or pivoting sectors from more of a commercial focus to transport focus was a conscious decision that I made probably about 6 years ago. And that was more because I thought I've had really great experience there, and I wanted to develop other sectors and my knowledge and experience of other sectors. And I'd done a few other, like defence, a bit of health, but transport was quite exciting. So, put my hand up to do transport projects, which are notoriously tiring. They're often long projects and a lot of reviews. There's a lot of stakeholders, can be quite draining. I wanted to give it a go, was part of the successful Waterloo team, and it's just gone on from there. I really enjoyed that experience. So I'm continuing to take similar roles, and then, different types of roles within the transport space as well.
And what an amazing kind of sector to work in. You're really not just, thinking about a building and its, singularity, but you're actually really affecting the whole, how a city functions almost, aren't you?
Yeah, that was one of the great things about working on Waterloo, was the impact, not just to customers but communities, and how important the station is in giving the identity. It doesn't give identity to Waterloo. It's like it tries to magnify it because it's bringing more people through
those areas.
Yeah, and so you get to see the station tries to reflect Waterloo, the colour palette, the artwork. It has that purpose.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so it's being involved in public infrastructure projects is incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, Waterloo Station, I mean, it's an underground station, but then it also has these buildings over the top. And like you said, it's really driving that renewal in the community and commercial and housing spaces. Yeah, it would have really required that close coordination for seamless integration and a focus on that passenger experience. So, I mean, you must really think about how the passenger moves through the station at every touch point almost. Like, is that something that's mapped out, or how do you think about that?
It's definitely considered in the design, not particularly from a mechanical perspective, but I think mostly through architecture and the lighting, specialist lighting, how that supports the architecture and the overall customer experience. You know, the urban design around the station is also really important, how it links to outside, the communities outside, and its role integrating different transport modes. As an example, the whole customer experience is, I think, front and centre of Sydney Metro. It's a really important KPI, even to the extent where the mech design, I suppose, has requirements around, differences in, trying to make the customer feel comfortable. When you're transitioning from outside in through the main entrance, it's all naturally ventilated. So you're feeling, that you just come in, but you've still got the connection with what's happening outside. And as you transition through the station, you gradually move into conditioned spaces and then down to the platform. But the platform area, we've got very strict criteria for the air conditioning design down there so that it's not noticed.
So it's more like natural ventilation.
Yeah, we don't want people to notice it.
Yeah.
So, there's draft requirements. So, we've got to pick the louver, we've got to pick the grills and make sure we've selected them very carefully so that performance meets the requirements for the design. So, certain velocities are really important, and I guess how the conditioned air is dispersed through the station. We have to do CFD modelling to make sure that we don't have any
dead spots,
particular pockets,
those kind of things, so that the ventilation is really circulating. I think I've looked at some of those models before.
So I mean, we had to do we even had to do that for outside. So so how the customer experiences the station from within, but also from outside, and being part of an integrated station development. We have, like you said, a lot of towers on top. That's part of the Waterloo ISD, and I think some of those were about to be handed over now, I think. So we had to interface very closely with the design of those towers to make sure what the air moving in and out of the station through your louvers were not impacting the developments, and the developments would change over time. It required really strong communication with the developer of what was happening on the station side, and we had to do CFD analysis as well to have a look at what how the air dispersed, in particular, the exhaust systems and smoke exhaust, to make sure that they wouldn't adversely impact the overstation designs.
Yes, well, I know personally that everything was thought about in minute detail down to the Pascal pressure drop, which is fantastic, because I'm sure you must be pleased that you've got a very energy efficient station, and it's also achieved this Green Star rating. And can you tell us a little bit about that? And is there anything in particular that, stands out in that process of, achieving that 6-star Green Star? Because it is not that easy to achieve, is it?
It's not easy. It is really not easy. And we achieved the 6-star Green Star design. So that was okay, because that's all theoretical stuff.
Yeah.
What actually gets installed, and then the measured performance of delivered what the station that's delivered is something else. So usually what we do is we target a whole bunch of points, Green Star credits, because we know we're going to lose some along the way. And that's just normal, contingency. And we did really well on Waterloo. The systems were as efficient as we had designed them. So the installed performance, which was fantastic, that's a big part of achieving our credits, especially when you think about, how many systems there are, how many credits there are. We did a really great job on material selection. Concrete in particular was a really strong one for Waterloo. We hit all the points that we needed to for the building services, so it was great. And then not just the 6-star, so we got the 6-star Green Star as built rating, which was a big relief. I think also our modelled energy consumption turned out really well as well. So it was overall, I think, a really good story in terms of sustainable design.
Tell us, is there a neighbours rating as well? Is that not on this one?
No.
Oh, okay.
No neighbours rating.
Is that something? Because that's a little bit different, isn't it?
It's So neighbours is a measured rating. A Green Star is more of a design tool, or what type of systems get installed, your indoor air quality, what you've designed, and whether that system gets installed. Neighbours is looking at how much water does your building consume, how much energy or power does your building consume.
Does that come into infrastructure projects sometimes, or
no,
not
it doesn't.
So much?
It doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, we do have energy targets, and that's all modelled, simulated, but it's not measured at a metre.
I understand there's a labyrinth of services beneath Waterloo Station, and these performance elements are often hidden yet vital to the station's overall success. So I guess this is where there's that interface between the architects and yourself. There's that need for collaboration and quite close collaboration with the architecture. I remember there was a little bit of stress and tension around the louver selection and things like that at the time. So how do you navigate between this kind of architectural vision and the technical requirements? Are you that person that has to kind of coordinate to a certain degree?
Yeah, there's often the competing interests. You've got an architectural finish that the architect wants to achieve, and you have performance requirements that our systems are required to achieve. So as long as we can meet our performance requirements, I'm not fussed with what it looks like at the end, what that facade looks like. There is tension when we can't meet our performance requirements, and when we need to, when we have to demonstrate, and we'll have to demonstrate that we can't meet them, then there's the process of what can be compromised on the facade, what can be compromised in the system. So can we make the efficiencies up somewhere else? Or is it absolutely, that's the max pressure drop, for the line-wide systems, there's a maximum pressure drop that they would allow at the louver, and that's it. So anything above that, it showed up red in the calculator, we can't do it, and that's it. And then we'll need to look at what are the facade treatments that are going on there after the louver. So a lot of the times on normal buildings, it's the louver is the facade.
Yes, absolutely, but not on this one.
But not on Waterloo.
Yeah.
So we had to factor in, additional losses as well through the brick facade or perforated metal, depending on which face or which system it was. They're quite difficult because you're asking and potentially change the look of the building. I wouldn't notice it, but architects do, and it's that detail. When we get to compromise designs, I think that's when it gets a bit tricky. Ultimately, I think we end up with the outcome's good, and because we're both pushing each other to get meet somewhere in the middle.
Yes, and it looks like you've made a great, if there was any compromise on Waterloo, you wouldn't know. It's come out fantastic. Can you recall any particular, challenge or breakthrough moment on the project that really kind of stands out that you would bring into your other projects since then?
During design, so I led the mechanical design for the project during the design phase, and One moment was when we completely changed the chiller design, the central chilled water system design and the chiller configurations. And we were the only station to do it, from what I understand. And I was so unsure of whether we should do it, because I was like, I like having the extra one there because I'm an engineer and we like the redundancy, but we can achieve what we need to without it. And we put it forward. So we reduced the number of chillers serving the station from 3 to 2 as part of a significant cost saving initiative. It was a little tricky to get across the line with Sydney Metro and the SMEs. Ultimately, we got through. There was nothing in the requirements saying we couldn't. It was just not. They didn't want it. We got there in the end. That was a good one and gave us a lot more freedom later with our design and in delivery. And, we've got a great plant room, easy, loads of maintenance, access, very clean, tidy, safe.
Nice.
So that was like first about 18 months of the project, and then we move into construction phase, and that's where I took over the design manager role for the station. And, we had so many moments sticky moments, I think, during construction. That's where everything can go pear-shaped and you have to stay on top of it. And that's when the pressure comes, I think, when you're dealing with the contractors and, they've got their programs. And so I think
time pressure, site pressure,
a lot of that. There's a lot of installation issues that come up on site as well.
Nothing's ever exactly the same as the model, is it?
It's never the same as the model, and you can't build off the model no matter what someone says. So There were a lot of those moments. Probably getting the civil works handed over. That was a big job, underestimated.
Really?
The difficulties there, yeah. So that was more about what's happening outside the station box and the levels of coordination. Waterloo is an incredibly tight, spatially constrained site, very old infrastructure, and we had to replace a lot of it to get the station across the line because we couldn't protect a lot of the assets in the ground. So there was a lot of work there that had to go in with council, utility authorities. The station finished, I think, in early 23. We didn't get the stuff going on outside, or the external services finished well after that. Similar story around on the line. There's a lot of coordination that needed to go on, and I definitely learned a lot from that.
Wow. Yeah, and because it's one of many stations as well, isn't it? So you're probably thinking about other stations at the same time.
Yep. Yeah. But we like to say we were the last station to start design, and we were the first station to finish construction.
Wow.
That was a great achievement from the team.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so now here you are as Associate Director and Transport Lead. So you're not doing mechanical design so much anymore.
No, I don't do so much of that. I do a lot more design management, overall, management of projects, overseeing lots of disciplines. I think that's a good thing with working at a large company like WSP.
You worked obviously with John Holland on Waterloo Station, and so did we. So with that, such long gestation of the project, you must have really developed a good relationship with John Holland, and as did we, I think. How's that partnership moving into future projects?
Oh, look, we'd love to work with John Holland again. The project team was fantastic and really supportive. I think we collaborated really well, and we worked towards delivering the station together. We really did. I think there's not too many projects where you actually get a contractor team that you share that goal. That's the goal. We're all tired. We've been there for so long. We've had, countless turnover of staff. Everybody has. So to get to the end, it was a real team effort. That's all I can say, real team effort. And I think that was they'd share that sentiment too.
How does it feel to go from, like a key designer to leading teams in design? Is there any guiding principles that you hope to instill in this next generation that you're now leading?
I hope they see how hard we work. It's a tough job, like every profession or every job that you do. It's not always easy, and the greatest rewards come from the most difficult situations, I think. So being able to put your hand up to take on more challenging projects, the reward, the outcome of that is, I think, far more rewarding than going down the usual path. These projects, they're very difficult and they take a long time. They're very challenging, especially for the younger generation, because we work away from we work at a project office. We're not at the normal office, and it takes you away from a lot of business and a lot of your business group. But you do develop very strong relationships with those that you work with on the project and form a very close network with that team, which I think is great moving forward. Moving from design into, managing, you get a different perspective on projects. But I couldn't do what I do now without going through that technical part of my career first. For me, I really need to know that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so do I.
That means that I need to go through all, learning different projects, designs, really having a strong technical foundation for my engineering before, I move away from that a bit more into learning more about other disciplines. So it never stops. Learning never stops. And that's what makes it all interesting.
Absolutely.
Keep going and learning more, getting better.
Learning from everyone and learning every day. How do you see the future of transport infrastructure? What excites you about, the future? Because obviously with everything, technology is developing every day. It's just all moving so fast. What excites you about moving into the future of this sector?
What it can unlock. Sydney, Australia, it's so massive. Public infrastructure, especially in transport, can really connect large distances together and bring communities together. And by doing that, it has that real potential to change cities and change people's behaviours. I think that's really exciting. And, hopefully in the future there's so much potential for it. There's more of it. I think it's only the start, and so that's really exciting, being able to be part of that. Being part of a city-shaping project is really cool. That's, one of the reasons why you do these types of projects.
Wow, it's really inspiring. So at Louvreclad, we are passionate about creating facades that inspire the world. So on that, we love to finish with the inspiring 3, which is project, place or practice, and person that inspires you. So is there a particular project that you can think of in Australia or in the world that inspires you, and a place or a practice that really keeps you balanced? As you just mentioned before, you're a mum as well as holding this really amazing role.
Living in Sydney, and I'm impacted by the project. And I know a lot of other people that are as well, and it's completely changed their lives. And you can tell by the, it's award-winning. It's like a huge investment and takes many years. To me, the outcome is definitely worth it. And a project of such a long duration, it hasn't all been great. I think during construction, there's, people might be a bit unsure about, is it worth it? But then I think, it's proven that, it is. And the Metro project city has been incredible. Northwest as well, it extends to Northwest. Place is home, because, all the stuff that happens at work, but then at the end of the day, it's home with, my family. Like you said, I'm a mum, and I'm just a mum.
It's nice to drop that role and just be a mum. Yeah. I guess we talked about mentors and things. Is there one person that you want to name that would be someone, or doesn't need to be, maybe a mentor or someone who inspires you in life to do what you do and be you?
Can I say my husband?
Yes,
because
absolutely.
he does help me a lot. He's really supportive. And he said to me that you took so many years off, working part-time with the kids, and now you can go for it, do what you have to do. And he'll support me no matter what. So I think having that knowledge and, that there is the support behind me helps immensely, and, being able to chase whatever I want to do and having the freedom to do that.
That's so beautiful. I love it. For more insights and resources, please head to Louvreclad.com. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to hit follow. Please join us next time.